Hello everybody, I am Casey the Gamer, and it's time for another game review. Today, we're taking a look at the notoriously difficult Batman game for the NES. It's gonna be a doozy. Batman for the NES was made by Sunsoft and released in December 1989 in Japan and February 1990 in North America. This was a game that I never had growing up and I never even heard about for the longest time. My first exposure to it was through the Angry Video Game Nerd, and boy did this game look hard and unfair. It's been years since I've seen that video, and I've seen some others take it on, and after going through some hard games myself, I decided it was finally time to play it. The first time I played it was on my Twitch channel, and playing it again for the review is only my second time playing it. I'd say overall the experience is pretty positive. It is definitely a game that lives up to its difficulty, but it is very fun, and we're about to get into all of that. So let's get going. The game is based kinda sorta on the 1989 Tim Burton Batman movie starring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. Some of the cutscenes resemble scenes from the movie or use the dialogue, like the whole "Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?" and stuff like that. The enemies you face are wildly different, but that tends to happen when you video gamify a movie. So Batman fights his way through tons of bad guys before confronting the Joker at the end. Batman and the Joker fight. Batman wins and knocks the Joker out of the cathedral. The ending here isn't quite as graphic as the movie. So yeah, not much story for the game. The main thing here is definitely the gameplay. Batman is a 2D side-scrolling platformer action game. The gameplay itself is very fun. Combat's a little basic, you have your punch, which does pretty good damage. But Batman does come with 3 gadgets, because after all, it wouldn't be Batman without all those wonderful toys. He has the standard Batarang, which is a single throwable projectile to hit enemies from further away. He has the Bat Disc, which shoots out 3 projectiles. And the final one is apparently called the Batpoon? Wait, really? It's like a gun that shoots a missile or something to that effect. Batpoon. Really? What in the world? No. I didn't think that could be right, so I looked up the actual manual online. The gadgets are actually as follows. Batarang, which they got that right. The Bat Disc is actually called the Dirk, and Batpoon is actually the spear gun. So it shoots a spear, not a missile, like I said earlier. Batpoon. Whoever wrote the Wikipedia article, thank you, because that is hilarious. Batpoon. 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 Anyway, the movement is actually really good. You got your typical run side to side and jump and all that. But Batman gets a wall jump in this game, kind of like a Ninja Gaiden. The wall jump in Batman is really, really good. It didn't feel finicky at all, and it was very well implemented, and it made the game a lot of fun. So you run and jump and punch your way through stages populated by various enemies. A lot of who I thought were just generic bad guys, but looking at the manual, they have named the enemies after several Batman and other DC villains. As you make your way through the levels, you'll encounter multiple versions of Shakedown, Heatwave, KG Beast, Deadshot, and Maxi Zeus, just to name a few. While playing, I never thought anything of the random baddies being any of those characters. Well, the more you know, I guess. That being said, there are also generic robot enemies that can be quite a pain on certain levels. Batman is comprised of 5 fun but difficult levels. Each level has 1 to 3 sub-levels and then a boss fight. They are as follows. Level 1 is Gotham City. This level has 2 sub-levels and a boss level. The first one isn't too bad. Basically, you just need to run in a straight line and punch the enemies that come your way. Second part also isn't too bad until you get about halfway through it and you run into these flying dudes that can be a giant pain. Also, right before the exit is a cigarette-smoking ninja who will mess up your day if you don't kill him quickly. On the boss stage, you fight Killer Moth. It's not too bad of a fight. Killer Moth mostly just flies above you and shoots projectiles at you. Do your best to avoid them, and then when he drops down, I personally had the best luck using the Dirk/Bat Disc. The 3 projectiles from it do pretty good damage to him. Rinse and repeat, and you'll win in no time. Level 2 is the Axis Chemical Factory. There are 3 substages and then the boss fight. This stage overall requires more platforming and wall jumping, but just take your time and watch where you're going and you'll be fine. In the first part, the biggest thing to really watch out for is the green chemicals on the ground, which will hurt you. There's also bits of chemicals dripping from up above. These will also hurt you. In part 2, there are electrified areas that, again, will hurt you. But if you do a good job with the platforming, you should come out unscathed. Enemies in this level aren't really that big of a deal. They're just not. For the third part, it's mostly finding the correct way to go. It's not too hard, but there are a couple of dead ends. Also, there's some spinning blades on the floor that'll cause some serious damage. They will hurt you. Again. Get past them and find the correct way, and you get to the boss portion, which is none other than the famous DC villain, the Machine Intelligence System. This boss has 3 parts that you need to destroy in order to win. Straight ahead are these little turrets that can quickly be destroyed with batarangs. There's another little thing in the upper left corner to destroy. Batarangs also work well for that too. Just watch out for the lasers. And the final part constantly switches between being vulnerable and then attacking with a triple shot. If you get close enough and duck, you can avoid that triple shot, and then you just jump and punch and destroy it pretty quickly. Level 3 is the Underground Conduit. This also has 3 sublevels and a boss. The first 2 parts start in a sewer-looking area, and we are greeted with probably my least favorite enemy in the entire game. These big, annoying, jumping guys. They killed me so many times in my first playthrough, and they killed me a few times this go around for the review. You really just gotta try and get their pattern down and punch them until they die. As you do. The obstacles are a little bit harder here. There's a lot of these spinning machines in the water that'll hurt you if you land on them. Big surprise, there's a theme here. Things that'll hurt you. Those paired with some of the enemy placement can be a bit of a pain, but stay strong and you'll eventually make it through to the next part, which is like a cave. It isn't too bad except for the new enemies here, the tanks. Try your best to dodge them and use the batarangs to kill them quickly. Keep moving up and try your best not to get knocked down, as this will cause enemies to respawn. Make your climb to the top and get to the boss, the Electrocutioner. There's no real strategy for me here other than to try and go in with a couple lives and full health, and then pummel him with batarangs and he'll eventually go down. Almost as easy as he does in Arkham Origins. Level 4 is the Laboratory Ruins. This level honestly isn't too bad considering how late in the game it is. It is also made up of 3 sublevels and a boss. It does have some of the more annoying enemies from previous levels, like those jumping guys, but some of the stuff is easy to run past. There's actually a lot of pretty fun platforming here too. It's all pretty straightforward. Do your best and be careful and you'll get to the boss in no time. And it's none other than another famous DC villain, the Dual Container Alarm. Just get up on top of one of the platforms and then duck. And then spam the punch button like mad to hit them whenever they come by. You might need to drop down to dodge some projectiles from time to time, but then rinse and repeat. Destroy one and the other one goes kind of crazy, and then just stops and starts shooting. You just need to go down and hit it a few more times to finish it off. Level 5 is the Cathedral, the final level. This has 1 substage and a boss fight. This level is probably the hardest in the game, at least for me. The first half isn't so bad, but when you get to the big vertical climb, it can be a giant pain. Gives me serious Castlevania Clock Tower vibes. But get through the climb, and then you get to the boss. And it is not the Joker. It's Firebug. This guy can be a bit of a pain himself. He's super fast with his punches, and he'll also fire a projectile at you. It's best to try and bait the projectile, jump over it, and then pelt him with batarangs. He'll eventually go down, and then you'll come face to face with the Joker, who will probably kill you immediately. He is very tough. His gun blast will do 3 points of damage, and he'll also summon lightning. Like, when the hell could he do that? I never saw that in the movie. So you'll most likely die and get a game over. But luckily, even though you'll have to go through the level again, you don't have to fight Firebug again, just the Joker. So do your best to avoid the gunshots for sure, and just wail on him with your fist or batarang, and he'll eventually go down. Another weird thing with him, though, that I've noticed is sometimes when he runs from side to side, he'll damage you, and other times he won't. But yeah, beat the Joker, and you get the final cutscene of Batman taking the Joker out like the trash he is, and then the credits roll. So this game is hard, but it is also forgiving. You'll most likely die a lot because everything, literally everything, is out to get you. But there are unlimited continues, which is a huge plus. You'll always go back to the start of the sub-level you were on. The only exception is if you die to a boss, you'll have to complete the prior sub-level again. And another forgiving aspect, like I mentioned a minute ago, on the last level, once you beat Firebug, you don't have to beat him again. Once that's done, every time you get to the end of Stage 5, it'll be the Joker, which I am truly grateful for, because I don't think I'd have it in me to beat both Firebug and the Joker on a single continue. While playing, I found the fists and batarangs to be the most useful. The Dirk or Bat Disc would be the best after that, and I never really found a good use for the Spear Gun or Batpoon. I'm still not over Batpoon. Still not over it. There are a few pickups in this game as well. There's a missile icon which refills your weapon ammo, a bee icon which gives you points that don't do anything. I don't think I ever got a single one-up in this game at all, so yeah, they don't do anything. And there are hearts which will refill your health. There are certain points that have these contraptions on the ceiling that keep dropping enemies. I think they're supposed to be for farming to heal you up and fill up your ammo, but I usually ended up getting hurt and losing progress. So if you do decide to try it, just be careful. I guess I just couldn't get the timing right. But yeah, overall, gameplay is fun as hell. The movement and combat are great. Batman features some gorgeous 8-bit graphics. It honestly looks fantastic. Batman himself rocks a very purple color scheme in this game, as opposed to his usual black and gray, blue and gray, or all black color schemes. But I guess it helps him stand out. I don't know. I honestly don't mind it myself. I think it looks good on him. The enemies, backgrounds, and stages are all very detailed, especially for an NES game. I have no complaints. Like I said, it's a great looking game. The sound effects are about what I'd expect. I think they fit the game perfectly. And the soundtrack is also really good. It's just a fun NES soundtrack to run and jump through levels to. I actually really love this game. Like I said, I'd seen others play it. I knew of the reputation of it being hard, but it just looked so fun. And yeah, I love it. I wasn't sure how it would feel to me when I played it myself, but I was pleasantly surprised. It's a great game. It is very hard in places, especially on a first playthrough. But it's not as bad on repeat playthroughs. And honestly, I can confidently say that this is one of my new favorite NES games. If you're a fan of tough but fair and fun 2D platforming games, I say give it a shot. Now I know there's a sequel as well, not based on a movie, like a direct sequel to the game. I've heard things about that one too. I guess I'll have to take a look at it sometime soon. Thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff if you enjoyed. You can catch me streaming all kinds of games on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/CaseyTheGamer91. I'd love to have you there. We have such a good time. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I hope to catch you next time. By the way, they did make one of those NES figures of Batman with the purple color scheme. Unfortunately, though, it looks like he doesn't come with the Batpoon. Just a batarang and a grappling hook. But no Batpoon. Oh well. Peace out. Batpoon. 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 Batpoon.